Get ready for a knockout week in the fight world. UFC London is here with massive predictions and betting picks. We're diving deep into the matchups, giving you the edge you need to win big. Plus, we're breaking down who can actually challenge Khamzat Chimaev in the middleweight division. UFC analyst Din Thomas has some surprising thoughts on who has what it takes to dethrone the champ. And wait until you hear what Charles Oliveira has to say about the criticism surrounding his BMF title win over Max Holloway. Was it pure dominance or something else entirely? Finally, Joe Rogan reveals what UFC boss Dana White really thought of that BMF title fight. You don't want to miss this. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss a second.
Looking for a fast-charging, ultra-responsive stylus for your iPad? Meet the 2X Fast Charge Active Stylus Pen, designed for 2018 to 2025 Apple iPads. Take your creativity and productivity to the next level. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
UFC London is set to ignite the octagon with a stacked card, and we've got your inside track to the betting action. The main event features a thrilling featherweight title eliminator between Movsar Evloev and Lerone Murphy. But it's not just the headliner that's got our attention. We're breaking down the entire card, bringing you expert predictions, underdog picks, and parlay opportunities. Will Michael Page bounce back in the welterweight division against Sam Patterson? Can Shamrock upset Abdul Karim Al-Selwady with his wrestling? And is Movsar Evloev the lock to defeat Lerone Murphy by decision? We're also eyeing a two-fighter parlay featuring Luke Riley and Christian Leroy Duncan. These aren't just fights. They're opportunities to cash in on the biggest MMA action. Tune in for all the details and get the betting edge you need. Don't go anywhere, because the drama is just heating up in the middleweight division. Next, we're asking the million-dollar question: who can actually beat Khamzat Chimaev? Khamzat Chimaev is a force of nature in the middleweight division, but UFC analyst Din Thomas believes there's one fighter who might just have the secret weapon to take him down: Sean Strickland. After Strickland's dominant TKO victory over Anthony Hernandez, Thomas is convinced that Tarzan is the only middleweight on the planet capable of pulling off the upset against the undefeated Chimaev. This isn't just about skill. Thomas highlights the intense history and genuine dislike between Chimaev and Strickland, forged during their time training together at Extreme Couture. This personal animosity, he suggests, adds a crucial layer of intrigue that could spill over into the octagon. Could Strickland's sharp striking and undeniable grit be enough to overcome Chimaev's relentless pressure? Thomas certainly thinks so, making this a must-watch matchup that could redefine the middleweight landscape. But the talking doesn't stop there, as we dive into a controversial title fight that had fans and fighters buzzing. Next, Charles Oliveira responds to the criticism of his BMF title win, and his take might surprise you. Charles Oliveira has clinched the BMF championship, but his dominant victory over Max Holloway at UFC 326 has sparked debate. Many felt Oliveira's 5-round grappling masterclass, which saw him secure takedowns in every round and control Holloway for over 20 minutes, wasn't in the spirit of the BMF title. Critics, including fellow UFC veterans, argued that the belt demanded a striking war, not a ground-and-pound clinic. Oliveira, however, dismisses the criticism as mere jealousy. He emphasizes that his game plan was to neutralize Holloway's renowned striking, a task few have accomplished. He points to his flawless ground game and his ability to control the fight from start to finish, stating he made a fighter who was never dominated look easy. Oliveira questions what fans truly want, asserting that bringing a championship belt to Brazil, one no other Brazilian has ever won, is the ultimate victory, regardless of how it was achieved. He stands by his performance, declaring himself the undisputed BMF champion. And the conversation around that fight just got even more interesting. We reveal what UFC boss Dana White really thought of the BMF title bout. The BMF title fight between Max Holloway and Charles Oliveira at UFC 326 might have crowned a new champion, but it left UFC president Dana White decidedly unimpressed. UFC commentator Joe Rogan recently shared on his podcast that White wasn't a fan of the main event, despite Oliveira's dominant performance. Rogan was discussing the exciting Muay Thai and kickboxing bouts on one championship with White when the UFC head honcho expressed his dissatisfaction with the Holloway-Oliveira matchup. The BMF fight wasn't that good, White reportedly told Rogan, a sentiment that contrasts with Rogan's own view that it was a great fight. Oliveira secured a unanimous decision victory by controlling Holloway on the ground for the majority of the fight, a strategy that, while effective, didn't align with the explosive, crowd-pleasing style often associated with the BMF title. White's reaction highlights a potential disconnect between strategic dominance and fan-favorite entertainment in the eyes of the promotion's leader. And that brings us to the end of another action-packed news update. Don't go anywhere, we've got a lightning round recap and your full call to action coming up next. What a packed show! We covered the UFC London betting picks, the one middleweight who can allegedly beat Khamzat Chimaev, Charles Oliveira's response to BMF title criticism, and Dana White's real thoughts on that fight. Don't miss out on any of the action, like this video. Subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and drop a comment with your thoughts. Follow us on all social media platforms for even more fight content.